Hello everybody, it's Wednesday. Good to see you here. And this is Liz here with Liz's craft page with another craft. And if you like what you see, please feel free to do this. And we call that sprinkling the love in the craft world. So we're going to stack 3 pumpkins that I got from the Dollar Tree. And we're just going to make a little wall hanging for our home decor. So I took this pumpkin here. It had a raffia ribbon here, and I don't know, and it had a hanger on it. So I took those off, and I took a sanding block, and I sanded off the glitter. And then I painted the whole thing with 2 coats of black paint, just so you wouldn't be able to see what was underneath it. And then I painted it with some off-white paint. The black paint I used was this black acrylic paint from Anita's. And the whitish paint was this vanilla cream from Folk Art. And then I took some of this, the label fell off, but it's dark chocolate. Is Deco Art, so soft, it's probably 100 years old, and did the stem and put some highlights on it. And then I also used this honeycomb from Folk Art acrylic paint and did these strands here on it. And then I took more of the vanilla cream and outlined the stem, and I put little, you know, how the stem goes down in the pumpkin right here. I did a little bit of that. So I'd never really done this before. I didn't know how long that would take me. It took me a pretty good while, so I didn't think you'd want to watch me doing that. So this pumpkin is ready to be stenciled. So the stenciling I'm using today is one that, I mean, you can see that. It's been used quite a bit. And I'm going to use the whole stencil, and I had actually cut this grateful word out and used it separately. So I'll put that on after I stencil this part. So in case you all caught any of our tests for our camera that did not work out too well, we still can't seem to get it working the way it needs to be working. So we're going to keep trying with that, and when we get it, we'll start using the camera, and that way you can see me face on. But this is what I have so far for the stencil, and I just smoothed it down. I did not have to fuzz it because it has been used several times. And these stencils do come from Magnolia Design Company, and I put my link in there, and if you buy anything, please buy it from my link. That way I get a little percentage. It doesn't cost you any more than it normally would. So I also put a link in oh, and this is the family Subway stencil. So I put the link to that in the description. I put the link to the coal black chalk paste in the description. And I'm going to use this thicker squeegee for this project. We'll see how that goes. Ooh, I'm liking it. It works pretty well. I just need to be careful not to get into the area where I cut out this piece of stencil. Oh, and when I finished painting this pumpkin, I did put a layer of Mod Podge on it. And as long as you clean your stencils as soon as you use them, and you treat them nicely, you can get tons of uses out of them. So once you finish stenciling, you clean them in your kitchen sink with a sprayer, and you can use the Magnolia sponge, Magnolia stencil cleaner, which is a spongy type thing, and it does clean the stencils very well. Now, the darker the chalk paste, the more staining you're going to have on your stencils. You want to try to be as fast as you can. I know with some of these stencils it's a little difficult to do that. But who do we have? Holly. Hi, Holly. How are you today? So I'm just doing the subway tile stencil on my pumpkin. Just trying to get it on all parts of the screen, which is where the words are. Trying not to go over the edges of the stencil. I have a feeling there's going to be a little bit of issues with this one, simply because I've used it so much and it's kind of not as sticky as it used to be. But we'll see. It might turn out just fine. And the portion that I cut out, I'll add that after I get this part done. Okay, I think that's about it. So we're going to remove this and see how it is. It's not perfect, but it's still cute. Now, after this dries, you can take a toothpick and kind of go over the parts that kind of bled a little bit. You can take a toothpick and get some of that off. But we're going to put this, well, I'm going to dry it first. So I'm just using my heat gun. I'm using the lower setting to dry this. I think that's pretty good. I want to put my grateful in there. Now it needs to be up higher, so it's probably this way. Yep. Okay. So I put my grateful there, and I'm going to chop paste that. Now, for this one, I'm going to use my little squeegee. So I'm just going to take the paste off of my other squeegee with it. Actually, that's quite a bit. Okay, there we have it. Gonna peel this off. And there's our grateful. So I'm going to put this in the water upside down with the sticky side up, and then when you finish washing your stencil, you want to dry them with the sticky side up, and that way it will not stick to your table or whatever you're drying it on. So I'm going to go ahead and dry the grateful. Make sure the rest of it is dry. Seems to be pretty good. So I am going to take this right here, and I'm going to try to get some of this. See, you have this right here that kind of smeared, and this over here, and this. Try to get a little bit of that off, just so I can show you what you need to do. See if this side works. Oh yeah. And like I said, you can also use a toothpick. So I'm just kind of chipping away at the black chalk paste that ran on here. See how that is? That's a little bit better. So I'll do that later. We're just going to go and continue on with our project. So I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to work on our second pumpkin. So this is the other pumpkin I got from the Dollar Tree, and I haven't done anything to it at all. So I'm just going to take the jute off of it. Now keep your jute, you can always use it later. And then I just take the raffia bow off, and you can also use it later too. It makes pretty good corn stalks if you're doing a picture and you want corn stalks. So I just took that off, and you set it aside so you could use it some other time. So what we're going to use is this acrylic paint from Anita's, and it is pumpkin orange. And we're just going to paint these areas here. And I got the pumpkin from the Dollar Tree, just like where I got the other pumpkin. Let's get a brush. And you don't have to worry about getting it on these pieces. We're going to cover those with scrapbook paper. You can go ahead and do the stem. We're going to put brown on top of that. So, but you can go ahead and put the orange over it. It doesn't matter. So I wasn't really going to paint the edges, but as you can see, my paint kind of ran down there. I mean, you can leave them or you can paint them. It doesn't matter. Just whatever you like. And you don't even have to paint this orange. You can paint it whatever color you want. I did another one, and I think I did it in like a greenish blue. And that looked really good. So like I say, it doesn't matter if you get it on these pieces here, because we're going to be covering that up. And we're just going to give this one coat of the orange paint, because it doesn't need any more than that, because this is just plain wood. Doesn't have any other colors underneath it or anything like that. So it's good to go. I said, if you want, you can go around the edges. It's up to you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and dry this. So how's everybody today? Okay, that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to take my my chocolate, my dark chocolate, and I'm going to do the stem. And we probably will put a ribbon around it. And then I think what I'll do is I'll go around here and just give it some highlights. A little bit of highlight with, maybe this isn't the right brush to use. Okay, so I'm just going to get a little bit of this chocolate brown and I'm offloading it. And then I'm just going to go around the edge, around the top of the edge. Just giving it a little bit of, little something something. Just like that. I'm going to give it a streak down there and a streak there. Go up here a little bit. Just gives it a little dimension. That's kind of what I did to the other pumpkin. So this is what we have so far. I'm going to dry the stem. I'm going to need my scissors. Okay, so I have this paper right here, and it's a piece from this one here, Natural Botanical, and I'm pretty sure I got this at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or whatever when it was 50% off. Just has different fall papers, and I thought this one would go really good with our project. So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to lay this on here, and then I'm going to take my finger and I'm pressing it around the edge of that raised portion of the pumpkin, and then we will see that on the other side, on the white side of this page, and then we can cut it out. That's the simplest way to do this. Now, you can take these pieces off and then trace around them and do it. I really don't recommend doing that. You have to use a heat gun for it, which is fine, but it does take a lot of effort to do that. It's much easier just to do it this way. And I see I got my paint on here. Wipe that off a bit. And if you decide to make any of the projects that we do here on the lives, I would appreciate if you would take a photo and share them on Liz's craft page. And there it is. It goes right on there. So now we're going to do the middle portion. Just going to do the same thing. Just going to go around it. You're just pressing around the edges. And actually, that's okay. And then we're going to cut it out. So see the indentations? I think you can see that a little bit. Cut that out. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's still going to look good. We're going to have bows on there, and it'll cover up, some of the areas. So there we have that part right there, and now we need the other part. So again, I'm just taking my finger and I'm pressing it around the edges of the raised area. It out. And I'm making a mess. Oh well. What's crafting if you don't get some paint on you? Let's see how this works on here. There we go. So we have our 3 pieces. I'm just going to take some Mod Podge, and I normally use this matte Mod Podge. And I have my brush that I like so much. It's a 1-inch chip brush. And I'm just going to put it on the raised piece. And you don't want a whole lot, but you want enough that your paper is going to stick down. Okay, so this is, I don't know if you can see that or not, how much I have on there. And then just get your paper. You know what, where's my other piece of paper? Oh, okay, it's over there. So just slip it on there. Kind of matching up the edges. Now we're going to do the middle piece. again, we're just going to match up the edges. And if it's not quite right, make sure you get the bottom part on there better. And the top part, you know, we're going to put a bow on it, so it'll cover up some imperfections that way. And now we're going to do our last piece. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to put a little bit of this right here, the honeycomb on the stem there, just to give it a little dimension. Let's see. Let me get another little brush here. So I didn't do too much to it. I just put a little bit on the stem there. Okay, so I'm going to put my brushes in the water and put that up. And now we have this one here, and it was it's a tin one, and it had a long pole on it, a long tin stick right here, and I just broke it off. So that's going to be the top piece. And we're not going to do anything to this. I like it the way it is. So this is our bottom piece. And let me just move this out of the way. And we'll just work directly on the table here. So I was thinking of stacking it this way. I have it like this. So I was going to take a leaf, and this is one of those leaves from the Dollar Tree. They come 5 in a package, and it's a burlap leaf. So I'm going to cut off this metal piece, or actually I'm going to, yeah, I'll leave it on. I'll just, you know what, I'll just tuck it up behind it in case I want to bend my leaf around. So I was going to put it on my pumpkin like this. So I'm just going to hot glue it down, just like that. I know it's going to cover up some of the words, but that's okay. And then I'm going to put a raffia bow on it. So I just have this raffia that I got from the Goodwill store. And I'm just going to fold it in half. And then I'm going to fold it in half one more time. And I'm going to take it around the stem here, right around the stem. And I'm going to see about just tying a bow, just like a shoelace bow. Or you know what, I'm just going to do a knot. So I'm just going to tie it twice into a knot and glue that down so it stays in place. And then I'm going to cut the edges. Hi, Dave. So I'm just going to cut the edges a little bit there. And that's what we have for this one here. And you can bend your leaf I mean, we left the wire on so we could bend it a little bit. Just give it a little character there. And then we're going to glue this pumpkin to this one. And we're going to put the glue right here. And I think what I'll do is turn this over. And I'll put it right there. I'm going to flip it. And I'm going to press down on it. So there we have 2 pumpkins ready. And I think what we'll do is put a little flower right there. If I can find, yeah, right here it is. So I got these little sunflowers too at the Dollar Tree. They were 6 in a pack. So I'm just going to cut it, leave a little piece of the stem because I don't know what's holding it together. And then I'm going to put that right on the middle of the raffia. Raffia, nobody knows how to say it. Raffia. Okay, and I think I'm going to trim this down a little bit. And then open these a bit. Or spread them out. Okay. So this is what we have so far. We got 2 of them. So we need to do something around this stem here. So I have some ribbon. Put my sunflowers and my leaf up. I got quite a bit of ribbon here. Some of it I haven't used yet. I'm thinking this one here. I'm thinking this one would go really well. And then maybe these leaves here. So let's do that. So I'm just going to cut a couple pieces. I'm not going to make a very big bow. I'm going to go ahead and do the dovetail on these. So you're just folding it and then you're cutting it at an angle. It just gives it a more finished look. So we'll have this, and then we'll get a couple pieces of this. Let's cut the other edge of this one. And let's see, maybe a couple pieces of this here, which is just tan. And I'm just cutting the edges at a catty corner. Okay, let's see how that goes. And then this is where we can use the hanger that we had on our pumpkin. So we're just going to fold that in half so it's ready. We're going to just take these, kind of crisscross them. Oh, there it is. And then we're just going to gather them up a little bit. We have this folded, and we want to take the ends and put it through there, and you have it to the back of the bow, and then you just pull it. And then you can tie your knot in it. So you pull it tight and then tie a knot. then you just spread these out. And you might have to trim them up a little bit more. The plaid should be fine. And these are ribbons I got from the Dollar Tree. Very pretty, very affordable ribbons. So I think I will trim these up a little bit. Of course, you can make your bow bigger if you want it bigger. You can use different colors of ribbon. Just, you know, whatever you like. And I'm just taking them and spreading them out a little bit. Okay. And then I'm just going to cut the edges here of my twine, and then I'm going to hot glue this onto, isn't that a cute little bow, onto this other pumpkin. So I want to kind of glue this knot down. I want it to stay up a little bit. I want to make sure that I put the glue on it so it'll be up under there. So I'm just pressing it down right here on, right on the stem. Man, that's hot. Oh, I forgot I'm using the hot glue gun, the high temperature glue gun. Ouch. Okay, so this is what we have. Now we're going to glue this pumpkin onto this metal one, and that's another reason why you have to use the high temperature glue gun, is because for metal and wood, the high temperature glue gun works better. I'm not sure why, but it does. So I'm going to put glue right here on this, right here. And then I'm just going to put my pumpkin on top of that and hold it down for a little bit. Now we're going to have to make a hanger for this, for the whole thing. So I need to get my twine. Here. So I'm going to wrap it around the stem a little bit. So I'm going to glue it down on the back. Uh-oh, I think I knocked my other pumpkin off a little bit. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here to hold the end of this jute down. I'm going to have to reattach this. Oh, jeez. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap it around here a couple times. Just wrapping it. And then I'm going to glue it to the back here again. I'm going to put this about right there. I'm going to put this through the loops in the back. Well, actually, I want to do it this way to take it down through here. And then I'm going to tie it. So I just folded it over, and then I'm just tying a knot with the end piece and the folded over edge. I'm going to cut that off, and then I'm going to glue it down. And then I'll show you what it looks like. So that's what it looks like. So this is going to be our hanger. And this came off, so we want to re-glue that. So let's just put, well, I need another stick of glue here. Okay, get up there. Alright. So we put this back on here. I'm going to hold it down. Hopefully it's centered. Let's see. That looks pretty good. Okay, so this is what we have. Can't really see it that well. So what do you guys think? Is that cute? I would take a picture of this and put it on Liz's craft page. And if you make something like this, please share your picture on Liz's craft page and let us know what all you did and how it differs from mine. Or, I mean, just post a picture of it. And I'll try to clean the words up a little bit. And I'll be back here tomorrow at 11:30 with another craft. So please remember to do this. Sprinkle the love. And I would appreciate it. And if you do buy anything from my site, you don't have to pay any extra, but I do get a little percentage. So until tomorrow, keep crafting. Bye.